analysis for proficiency in English. As usual, let us start with the snippets. The very first one, amoebic meningo- meningoencephalitis. Amoebic meningoencephalitis, that is the name of the organism that causes disease, and fatal infection claims a tumor in Kerala. There's one important word. What is that word? Fatal. Fatal means causing death, one meaning, dangerous, another meaning. And a typical combination, fatal accident, means causing death. That's an important word you have to learn. Otherwise, nothing to learn. But when it comes to a particular disease, you should think of three brain disease, Naidu, very good. And you should think of three words epidemic, local, endemic, local, epidemic, larger area, pandemic, across the countries. All the three words you have to recollect as a smart learner. Coming to the next one, bilateral ties. India has offered to cut tariffs, Trump. Trump has been imposing tariffs, initially 25%, later 50%. Now he makes a statement saying that India has agreed to cut tariffs. And what is there to learn? One, bilateral. The word bi means a two, but di also means a two. Bigamy, digamy, both mean two marriages. Bigamy, digamy. Bilateral between the two countries. India has offered, present perfect in active voice, to cut tariffs. Tariffs, taxes. You have to think of words like, yes, you have to think of words like impose, levy, and regime. Chandani, very good. Here, regime. Regime has two different meanings. One meaning, it means current regime means current government. And another regime, tax regime, means what? System. And it talks about tariffs, important, economy related. Coming to the next one, destruction survey. You all know in the recent past, Uttarakhand, Himachal Pradesh, Punjab, and Jammu and Kashmir, because of cloudbursts, inundation, floods, deluge, and a lot of devastating impact. They have caused uh, devastating impact or damage, wreak havoc. You have to recollect that idiom. And based on that, Amit Shah has visited the place to assess the negative impact of that particular natural disaster. When you see the word natural disaster, you have to, yes, pravalika, catastrophe, disaster, calamity, mishap, unfortunate incident, all these you have to. Destruction survey, Shah visits Jammu's rain affected areas. And when you see the word affected, you have to recollect two words affect, effect. Affect is a verb, effect can be a verb, can be a noun, but usually used as a noun. Coming to rain, you know all the related words you have to recollect. Rain, cats and dogs, rain in torrents, torrential rains, heavy rain, heavy downpour, all these words. Yes, Naidu, very good. Call for order. There's one phrasal verb here, call for. The situation calls for action. Demands for. Call for, one of the meanings, demand for. Call for what? Order. Carbon pricing and taxes. Global accord. Accord is an important word. Means what? Agreement. Global accord means global agreement is critical. Critical means important, vital, crucial. To align methods, back green tech transfer. Align means match, alignment, matching. Align what? Methods. Back here means support. Support green tech transfer. Back someone, back something. Support someone, support something. And green tech transfer. To understand certain snippets, to understand certain headlines, you need a bit of background information. Why this green tech transfer? Today we talk about climate change. We talk about mitigation of the negative impact, and when it comes to mitigation or assuage or alleviate or reducing the impact, negative impact, obviously we have to resort to non-conventional sources of energy or renewable sources of energy. Conventional sources of energy depending on fossil fuels. Opposite, non-conventional. Non-renewable sources of energy, fossil fuels. And renewable sources of energy, solar, water, hydro, and wind energy. These come under renewable. And today, the entire world talks about renewable sources of energy. But there are two issues. One issue, to transfer from conventional to non-conventional sources of energy, two things are required. One, money is required. Second, technology is required. Both money and technology, they are with the North Bloc. That means the first world countries. And developing countries or the third world countries, they don't have money, they don't have technology. So these developed countries should fund the projects, and also they have to teach the know-how. Know-how means that how to deal with the new technology and have to transfer the technology. And based on that, this has been written. An important article you have to read. You may get as a passage or close test. Here you can see our national sport hockey related to that a snippet. What does it say? On the rampage, someone or something causes a huge impact aggressively. Then we use the expression on the rampage, attacking mode. Why has it been used? India scores of 15 goals against Kazakhstan. 15 goals usually doesn't happen in whether it is football, soccer, or hockey, maybe 3, 4, or 5. But 15 one shot, that means being on the rampage. Based on that, that has been used. Let us go to the headline. Today's headline, only one. Usually we have two, three, but from end to end, only one. What does it say? SEO heads condemn Pahalgam terrorist attack. Only one important word. What is that word? Furious means angry. Lot of fury, anger, furious, angry. Condemn means to publicly disapprove, publicly criticize, publicly disapprove, condemn. Something negative, something bad, we condemn. And any silent. And terrorist attack, no one appreciates, no one justifies, and everyone condemns a terrorist attack. It goes with that. Coming to the other snippets or headlines, here we have, we'll go from this side to that side. We'll accept claims on SIR until last day of nominations, election commission. We will accept, which tense is that? Naidu, very good, all related words. All of you have a look at the comment box. You can learn something. Here, will accept, future tense. Then as a smart learner, you have to recollect the rule. We use will or shall with first person singular and plural, that is I and we, and other pronouns we should use only will. Will accept claims on SIR until. Another important word you have to focus on. Usually, exam point of view, very important. Students ask me, so what is the difference between until, till? There's no difference whatsoever. Both refer to time concept. But until came into existence in the 17th century. Over a period of time, it has been transformed into till. Until, till express time. But a related word which is equally important, more important rather, unless. Unless talks about a condition. Unless expresses condition, till, until, they express time. And all the three words are negative words. That also you have to remember. And usually many competitive exams have given the word unless. It goes with double negatives which are not acceptable. Unless you don't sign the paper, that is wrong. Unless is a negative word, don't, negative, not correct. Unless you sign the paper, this is something you have to recollect and consolidate. Coming to the next one, decide only that. Here we have the major. Earthquake kills over 800 and injures at least 2,800 in Afghanistan. Rescue efforts underway. Earthquake, rescue efforts. When you see the word earthquake, you should always recollect the words related to that particular theme or concept, the lexical terms. What are the lexical terms? Earthquake, epicenter, tremors, impact, loss of life, loss of property, get trapped, rubble, debris, evacuation, rehabilitation. All these words should be at your fingertips. Excavation, in a way, you can. And kills over 800 and injures at least 2,800 in Afghanistan. Rescue efforts underway. Underway means in the process, going on, are seismic. You should also recollect a Richter scale, not Richter scale. That also you have to. Seismography, tectonic plates, going deep into that. Underway means in the process. You can see they are trying to help those people. Coming to the two snippets this side, landslip leaves the two dead on the Kedarnath route. Landslip. Please excuse me. Monsoon time, hilly areas, especially the foothills of Himalayas, Western Ghats, you come across landslides, landslips. They are regular. They happen every year. Landslip leaves two dead on the Kedarnath route. Nothing learned as such. Indonesian government deploys army in restive Jakarta. Two words. One word you all know. Yes, rescue, help. We all know the word deploy. Deploy means to place in position. Imagine that there's a trouble, turmoil, disturbance in a particular city. Immediately, the local government deploys army, police. Deploy means place in position so that any eventuality they will be able to handle. It's a familiar word. But this word is very important. Restive. The problem with English, sometimes we have words, they have positive meaning at the same time, negative meaning. And some words they look positive, but the meaning is negative. When you see restive Jakarta, it sounds positive, but restive means restless. Look at the meaning. Restive Jakarta means what? Restless, agitated, disturbed, not stable. Restless, negative word. Restive, negative word. You got to be careful. That's all from. Let us go to the next one. We have one more. Elections are the only alternative for Bangladesh. Who has given this statement? Mohammed Yunus has given a statement. For Bangladesh, right now it is in political turmoil, a chaotic situation. He is advisor. And what is his statement? The only solution to bring back normalcy for Bangladesh, the only solution is elections. Only one choice. Then you have to recollect the idiom Hobson's choice. Hobson's choice means no choice, only one choice. Whatever is there, that is a choice. That's all from the front page of today's Hindu paper. Let us go to the editorial analysis. Today, I have brought very useful questions, mini mocks, new patterns, challenging questions, not at all easy to answer, and try to answer those questions, exam level, exam standards. And today we haven't got too many words, so I have brought the regular pattern, but and this editorial also I have done a few times, familiar editorial. And if you ask what is the benefit, this is a benefit if you watch the session. You will improve, you will consolidate your grammar knowledge, you will improve your editorial vocabulary, improve your comprehension skill. Besides, you work on mini mocks, questions based on exam topics. Let us go to the first word. First word is an important word. Suffice means sufficient. Remember the word sufficient. From sufficient, you get suffice. Try to form an association you can remember. Part of speech verb, meaning to be enough or adequate. When you see the word enough as a smart learner, you have to recollect something very important. Enough can be an adjective, enough can be an adverb. He has enough time, adjective, not important. He is rich enough. Here it is an adverb. And people make a mistake. They tend to say she is enough rich. That is right or wrong? It is wrong. She is rich enough to buy that. Big enough, rich enough, bold enough, intelligent enough. This pattern you have to recollect. To be enough or adequate. Word form suffices, sufficed, sufficing. It's a regular verb. A brief note will suffice for now. Means what? A brief note is enough for the time being. Word combinations suffice to say, suffice for the purpose. A single example suffices. That means to understand something, one example, it is wrong. To understand one example is enough. You're trying to tell someone. Synonyms: be enough, be adequate, serve, do. Antonyms of fall short, lack, be insufficient, fail. Shortage of something. Shortage, we also use the word dearth, dearth of something. That is an important word. DEARTH, dearth. Today, I tell students, no, there's no dearth of information. You are fortunate that way. Today, there's no dearth of information. Means what? No shortage of information. Abundance, that is your problem. Plenty. Conflation, an important word. Part of speech, noun, meaning. The act of combining two or more things into one, often causing confusion. You have to recollect the word confluence. Confluence means what? Two, three rivers combine at one point, join at one point, that is known as confluence. From that, we get conflation, combining, and it results in confusion. Word forms: conflate, verb, conflated, conflating. Example: the report led to a conflation of fact and opinion. Some report combined fact and opinion that has resulted in confusion. And when you see the two words opinion, fact, opinionated, or someone expresses his opinion, that is called subjective, personal. And someone states something based on facts and figures, that is objective. You should not get carried away with subjective statements. You should always consider objective statements. Subjective means personal, objective means based on facts. Those two words you have to recollect. Word combinations: data conflation, concept conflation, conflation of identities. Synonyms: merger goes with companies, blending, housewives, blender in the kitchen, fusion, amalgamation, an important word. Antonyms: separation, distinction, differentiation, division. All simple words. Paralegal. You all know Paralympics. Paralegal means not legal in a way to some extent. Part of speech, it can be an adjective, it can be a noun, meaning relating to someone trained in subsidiary legal matters but not fully qualified as a lawyer. Someone has legal knowledge, but that person is not a lawyer, he has legal knowledge, then we use the term paralegal. Word forms: paralegal, noun, paralegals, plural. Example: the NGO hired paralegal volunteers to help excluded voters. Means they're not lawyers, but they have the legal knowledge. Word combinations: paralegal assistant, paralegal training, paralegal services. Synonyms: legal aid, AIDE, means helper. Legal assistant, law clerk, important expression. Antonyms: lawyer, attorney, barrister, fully qualified legal professionals. You know, all mean the same. In our country, we use words like lawyer, advocate. In the US, they use the word attorney. In the UK, they use the word barrister. But they all mean the same. Now, let us go to the next one. We have got a few times. What is it? Onus. Onus means a responsibility or duty. Part of speech, noun. Meaning a duty, responsibility, or burden placed on someone. Word forms: onuses, rarely we don't use that. Example: it takes usually we say the onus is on someone. The onus is on the government to prove its claim. Word combinations: onus lies on, onus of proof, heavy onus. Synonyms: responsibility, duty, burden, obligation, liability. Antonyms: exemption, freedom, privilege, release. All these words are simple words. Coming to the editorial, what is this about? Another chance, one more chance on Bihar Special Intensive Revision Exercise and the Supreme Court order. I have done a few editorials. SIR. What do the letters stand for? Special Intensive Revision Exercise related to electoral list of voters and the Supreme Court order. You all know that to provide the background information, Bihar, against that backdrop, elections, SAR, Special Intensive Revision, it became controversial And the opposition leader, Rahul Gandhi, said about 65 lakh names have been removed. And those who are alive also, they have been mentioned dead people, so they removed the names. In fact, the Hindu front page, once there was a picture, Rahul Gandhi having tea with some people, and the caption said, Rahul Gandhi is having tea with the dead people. What does it mean? Rahul Gandhi is drinking tea with the dead people. No, the election commission removed their name saying they are dead, but actually those guys are still alive. They have written that way in a sarcastic manner. What is the main idea? Allowing objections beyond deadline may help wrongly excluded voters. Usually, for these things, we give a deadline and we don't take anyone or anything beyond that deadline. Under special circumstances, the deadline gets extended. In this context, extending the deadline will help the voters whose names have been removed wrongly, and they definitely need a chance to have the names in the electoral rolls. Wrongly excluded voters. You got it, Naidu and Nagashri. The Supreme Court of India, September 1st, 2025 order on Bihar Special Intensive Revision Exercise. Here, what is the key word? All this is a phrase. The key word, the subject, order. Supreme Court's order. What is the keyword? Order. Order, third person singular, sentence is in present tense, affirmative form. Then we should add S or ES to the verb. Order offers something. What does it offer? A crucial lifeline, important lifeline to voters who found themselves wrongfully excluded from the draft electoral rolls. Some people's names have been wrongfully excluded. Based on Supreme Court's intervention, they get the lifeline, means they get a chance to get the names included. The court's ruling and the Election Commission of India's clarification that claims and objections can continue to be filed even after the deadline represent. Here we are talking about two subjects. One, the court's ruling, and second, the Election Commission of India's clarification that claims and objections can continue to be filed even after the deadline. These two, based on that, the verb represent. Those two things represent. Two things plural. And what is the verb here? Represent. In the exam, they may take the same sentence. They may give represents. Then it is wrong. Represent. They represent a welcome move in an exercise that has raised questions about transparency and fairness. This is the exercise, SIR, Special Intensive Revision, and based on the stand taken by the Supreme Court and the Election Commission, the stand taken by these two parties, they represent something. They represent what? They present a welcome move, something positive, in an exercise that has raised questions. Raised what? Questions. Rise, rose, risen, intransitive, irregular. Raised, transitive, irregular. Raised what? Questions about transparency and fairness. When you see the word fair, you have to recollect. Yes, Sangeeta, Pravalika, very good. Fair complexion, dark complexion. Fair also means just, fair treatment, just treatment, proper treatment. And fair, village fair, once a week. But you have to recollect the other word, FARE, fair. How much is the fare from here to that place? The ECI has confirmed, present perfect active voice, that applications submitted after September 1st, 2025 will be considered. We will consider something. Future tense active voice, something will be considered by us. Future tense passive voice will be considered after the electoral roll is finalized, with the process continuing until the last date for filing of nominations. They're going to extend till the last date for filing of nominations. Those whose names have been excluded wrongly, they can claim, they can approach the Election Commission. This ensures that inclusions and exclusions can be integrated into the final roll. They can make sure all those the names that have been removed can be included, providing excluded voters with a meaningful opportunity. They get a meaningful opportunity for redress through their Aadhaar card. to deal with the problem, to correct the mistake. They get a chance, they get an opportunity. But how can they do it? One universal document, standalone document. Which one is that? Aadhaar card. To provide the backdrop information, Election Commission wanted the prospective voters to submit 11 documents. 11 documents, huge number. But the Supreme Court intervened and said, why not two universal documents, one Aadhaar, the other ration card? But finally, they decided on Aadhaar card. Aadhaar card, universally available and standalone document that should suffice to get into the electoral roll. However, the ECI's numbers raise a curious question. The numbers raise a curious question. Curious, inquisitive. Children are always curious. Children are always inquisitive. They want to know what is happening. Please excuse me. Curious, everyone knows. What is a better word? Inquisitive nature. What is that? While over 15 lakh new voters registered using Form 6, only around 33,000 claims were filed for re-inclusion of the approximately 65 lakh excluded. How many people have been excluded? Yes, Chandini, inquisitive. Naidu also. Eagerness, that is also right, aspirant. 65 lakh, where is 65 lakh? Where is 15 lakh new? And where is 33,000 for re-inclusion? The numbers don't match. This large difference becomes even more concerning when one considers that both categories use Form 6. This is another problem. Thank you very much, Shilpa. And here, both the parties, both the groups use Form 6, potentially leading to conflation. You combine two things that results in confusion. Then you have to use the word conflation. Potentially leading to conflation the data presented to the court. This data confusion feeds into a broader dispute between the ECI and political parties. This conflation, this confusion results in a dispute between the two stakeholders, one Election Commission of India, the other political parties. This data confusion feeds into a broader dispute between the ECI and political parties. When you see the word dispute, you have to recollect two idioms. What are the two idioms? One, bone of contention, the other, apple of discord. Apple of discord, bone of contention, both mean what? Cause of dispute. While the ECI claims, using its daily data reports, that parties failed to assist excluded voters, here, Election Commission of India is, row also you can say. Election Commission of India is blaming the political parties, saying what? The political parties are not helping the voters whose names have been excluded. The political parties are not assisting. While the ECI claims, using its daily data reports, that parties failed to assist excluded voters, parties contend, an important word. Contend has two different meanings. One meaning, struggle with, contend with problems, struggle with problems. But another meaning, contend, argue, state firmly, be assertive, and tell your stand, tell your stance. Contend that they did raise claims. One important expression, they did raise claims. Brawl also you can. Now some students may wonder why not they raised claims. Why not that pattern? Why they did raise claims? You have to listen very carefully. Imagine someone asks you, do you like English? Till you get the job, don't say I don't like English. You have to like, that is like Hobson's choice. Casually you will say, yes, I like English. But imagine you like English a lot. Then you can say, I do like English. And another question, did you see that movie? Casual answer, I saw that movie. Emphatic, yes, I did see that movie. We use this pattern to emphasize that they did raise claims, emphatic, but these were not properly processed by block level officers. Election Commission accuses political parties saying that they did not assist the voters whose names have been removed. And political parties say they did assist, but the block level officers did not cooperate, were not properly processed by block level officers. It is like a blame game, passing on the buck. What is the meaning of the idiom pass on the buck? Give the responsibility of not doing something, passing it on to someone else, escaping responsibility. Recognizing these challenges, the court has wisely directed that the Bihar State Legal Services Authority, looking at the scenario, court has done something wise. It has wisely directed a particular authority. What is that authority? The Bihar State Legal Services Authority use paralegal volunteers to assist voters and political parties. Looking at the scenario, court has directed a particular authority to assist two stakeholders in this context, one the political parties, the other voters. That's a good step. The court's intervention appears to reflect concerns that mirror data-driven investigations. Court's concerns mirror means reflect data-driven investigations. And who conducted these investigations, including by the Hindu, and what have they identified? Which have identified unusual patterns in the exclusion list, pointing to anomalies. Anomaly means what? Aberration, abnormality, aberration, deviation. All these words. Based on investigations, they have found some strange statistical data, unusual patterns in the exclusion lists, and that pointing to aberration, anomaly. Ground reports means the lowest level, you can say, practically speaking. Ground reports further, an important word. FARTHER. Further means what? Related to distance. Further means in addition to. Further validate, make something authentic. These findings. Underscoring means highlighting the need for robust corrective measures. Robust means strong. The data shows some aberrations. Then what are we supposed to do? We have to correct that. To correct those errors or flaws, we need a strong system. Robust means strong corrective measures. Now, where is the onus? Where is the responsibility? The onus is on political parties to rise above narrow self interest. Usually, political parties, for them, party interest is the most important thing. Other things are secondary. But here, the editorial says they should go to the higher level, rise above self interest. Here, we have to focus on the word rise, means what? Go above. The onus responsibility is on political parties to rise above narrow self interest and actively assist genuinely excluded voters. In a democratic setup, certain things are very important. No doubt, party interests are important, but democratic principles, safeguarding them, utmost priority. The democratic process demands such civic responsibility. It is a civic responsibility of all the stakeholders. Who are the stakeholders? The court, the election commission, the political parties, block level officers, paralegal people, the voters, all the people come under stakeholders. Not defects. In a way you can, but not exactly a defect. Something like deviation from the normal. You can use that word also, but generally we don't use the word defect under abnormality. Who is that? Ram, have you got it? Shivram. The democratic process demands such civic responsibility from all stakeholders. Next, what? For the next steps, the ECI must recognize Aadhaar as a valid standalone document. This is what I was talking about. Court has directed the ECI, Election Commission of India, to recognize Aadhaar as a standalone document. Means that itself is enough. We don't have to go beyond Aadhaar. Court's direction. Prevent unfair exclusions. Why should they do that? Aadhaar as a valid standalone document to prevent unfair exclusions among the 99.5% of those in the draft roll who have already submitted documentation and the rest. Given that Aadhaar serves as sufficient proof for the excluded to file claims, it should logically suffice, means it should be enough for those already on the draft roll. The Bihar SIR experience offers lessons for future electoral roll revisions. This has been going on for some time. SIR. So many times I have read out the snippets. I have done a few editorials. Why should we spend so much time? We can learn lessons from this and we can use those for the next electoral revisions. The Bihar SIR experience offers lessons for future electoral roll revisions. How does the editorial end? The ECA must abandon. Must is used to express the personal obligation, here obligation imposed by the writer. Abandon means all our students know to leave something. Abandon, desert, all both the words you have to recollect. Abandon its technocratic, short deadline driven approach in favor of intensive revision spread over longer periods. What does the sentence say? Election Commission should not depend too much on technology, should not take a short-term approach. It has to take a long-term approach. Only then it can do justice. Allowing thorough door-to-door verification. Nothing will go wrong then. A clean electoral roll cannot be achieved through hurried exercises. There is a saying in English, don't do things in a hurry. What is the other word for hurry? Haste. What is the saying in English? Haste makes waste. Never do things in a hurry. A clean electoral roll cannot be achieved through hurried exercises that prioritize administrative convenience over voter rights. In a democratic setup, administrative convenience is not important. What should be given utmost importance? The rights of the voters. It ends on that note. We cannot prioritize administrative convenience over voter rights. Let us go to questions based on comprehension skill. And this session is going to be very useful today. Questions based on reading comprehension skill, not easy. And also, mini mocks, new patterns have been brought, not the regular patterns, quite challenging. Try to answer the first one. What can be inferred from the Supreme Court's order on Bihar Special Intensive Revision exercise? Based on SAR exercise, a court has given an order. What can be inferred about the order? It seeks to strengthen the election commissions? No. It prioritizes the rights of voters who were wrongfully excluded. Seems right, hold that one. Political parties control the final voter list? No. Prevents filing of claims? Again, no. Recognizes voter exclusion as a minor procedural error? No. So what is the answer? What is that? What is the most important thing? Voter rights. It prioritizes the rights of voters who were wrongfully excluded. Very good. Question number 2. Which of the following best captures the writer's concern about the ECA's approach to the Bihar SIR? A writer has expressed concern, and which option captures that concern regarding Election Commission of India's SIR exercise? The process was politically motivated. The process was too lenient and lacked proper verification. The process was hurried and technocratic, undermining voter rights. Answer should be C. Process allowed too many? No. Process relied too heavily. The process was hurried. They tried to do it in a hurry. And what happened? And technocratic. And what happened based on that? Undermine, weaken. The voters' rights have been weakened. Very good. Imagine, this is a good question. It talks about imagine something, and if that happens, what will be the impact of that? If the Election Commission continues with its current short deadline model of revisions, which of the following is the most likely consequence? Imagine the Election Commission continuing with the same format, short-term goals. What will be the impact? Good question. Political parties will lose faith. Voter rights may continue to be undermined through wrongful exclusions. Hold that one. Aadhaar will no longer be considered. Supreme Court will directly prepare the electoral roll. Why will Supreme Court do that? New registrations will permanently outnumber re-inclusion claims. What is the answer here? B is the answer. Water rights may continue to be undermined through wrongful exclusions. That's what that will happen. Question number 4. In the passage, what does the term anomalies most nearly mean? I said new patterns. Usually, nowadays, many bank exams, they take a sentence from the passage, they take a particular word from a particular sentence, they ask the meaning, either synonyms or antonyms, and they give the words. Here, in a way, they're trying to find out the synonym, but not words. These are all phrases. You have to underline the context and you have to answer. This is a challenging question. Don't be hasty. In the passage, what does the term anomalies most nearly mean? Patterns of voter behavior? No. Administrative delays? No. Statistical averages? No. Exaggerations? No. Exaggeration increase, but the context talks about the number going down. What is the answer? Irregularities or inconsistencies. Very good. You guys got it right. Wonderful. C is the answer. Try to spot the error. The data also call into question. Here you may be disturbed, but I've told many a time, datum singular, data plural. Here writer has used data as a plural of datum, then call, nothing wrong. But data is also used as a collective noun. Then we say data calls per, data is. Nothing wrong here. The robustness, robust means strong, of the statistical system. Since a nominal GDP growth of 8.8%, since a nominal GDP growth, this is a key word, of 8.8%, it's a praise, don't consider. Ask yourself, growth assume or assumes? Here the clause is in present tense affirmative form and the subject is third person singular, growth. Then we should add S or ES to the verb. What is the verb here? Assume. Wrong. We have to say assumes. That means which part has an error? Chandini has written the exact word. D, there is an error. Assume is wrong. Growth assumes that inflation was just 1%. 18. This also a new pattern. Listen, first you listen. Usually pillars, I bring a sentence and there's a blank. I bring 5 options, all 5 options, words. But here, a sentence with a blank, not words, phrases. You have to understand the context and choose the appropriate phrase. Read meticulously. Understand the context. If you get this right, you should be happy. You're good at contextual awareness. Chief Economic Advisor has said that the government was retaining hold it, 6.3 to 6.8% growth prediction for the entire year, which means that with 7.8% in quarter 1, the government expects growth in the remaining 3 quarters. You have to choose a phrase which talks about the growth increases or decreases. That depends on your contextual awareness. What does the government expect? Increase or decrease? Then you get the answer. I will wait for your response. Manisha says 2A. Let others also respond. Pravalika also 2A. Sangeeta 2A. Nagashri 2A. No one has got it right. All of you. Naidu also. No. Let me tell you. Listen very carefully. Here the government has retained, what is the growth? 6.3% to 6.8% for the entire year. Means that 7.8%. They are expecting 6.3 to 6.8. But quarter 1 it has gone to 7.8%. If they have to, because this is the prediction, this is what they expect, then it cannot go up, it has to come down. When it comes down, it touches 6.3, between 6.3% and 6.8%. With 7.8% in quarter 1, the government expects growth to slow down significantly in the remaining 3 quarters. Who has chosen B? That is the answer. I see only Naveen Kumar, then Lakshman also. Who else? Pravalika, now B. It talks about going down because it has to touch the average predicted. It cannot increase. Here, accelerate, increase. Remain flat also, you cannot say. Then it becomes 7.8. But what is the predicted 6.3 to 6.8%? Overshoot, increase, surpass, increase. That is the question of the day. We have more questions. That's why I caution, read carefully. This also same pattern. The strong performance by the services sector is welcome, something positive. How dependent the Indian economy is on this sector? Context is very important. This is also a very good question. If you get this right, you are good at contextual awareness. Blank, but you have phrases. Choose the appropriate phrase. Understand the context. The strong performance by the services sector is welcome. Something positive. How dependent the Indian economy is on this sector. Now you have to understand. Here we are trying to join two ideas. Is it contrast, addition, a reason? Which one? Since talks about reason, but contrast, or choice while contrast. Answer should be something positive, and it shows and showing how dependent the Indian economy is on this sector. A is the answer, not E. Who has chosen A? That is the answer. Question number 3, Chandani has chosen A. Manisha also, very good. Question number 4, a relatively low nominal phrase replacement. A relatively low nominal growth rate also makes it more challenging for the government to meeting its fiscal deficit targets. Here itself you should know it is not correct. Then how many options with to meet? Per meeting also can be considered, but here stick to meet. To have meeting, meeting. So what is the answer? This is an easy one for many students. Yes, Chandani is the first one for C. To meet its fiscal deficit targets. Good. This is also a new pattern. Usually I bring 4 sentences or 5 sentences. Word usage, one word that it has been used properly, you have to select that particular sentence, or wrongly, you have to select that sentence, correct or incorrect. But what is this new pattern? We have with the same word. What is the word here? Introspect. And you have to decide in which sentence it has been used properly. And we have the combinations. Only one, both 1 and 2, only 3, all 1, 2, and 3, none. You have to read very carefully. First, you have to know the meaning of the word introspect. Introspect means self-questioning, contemplate, introspect, brood over, dwell on, reflect. Now respond. I'll wait for your response. RBI must introspect on why its forecast was so far off from actual data. The politician was asked to introspect about his remarks before the media. The teacher decided to introspect the students for cheating. Ponder also you have to recollect. Good aspirant. Who is this first one to respond? Vaishnavi B, Naidu B, Chandani B, Pravalika B, Nagajyoti B. Yes, Shiram also B. What is B here? Both 1 and 2. RBI must introspect, must think. The politician was asked to introspect, was asked to think. Here you cannot say the teacher decided to introspect the students for cheating. That doesn't make any sense. So C is not correct. What is the answer? 1 and 2. B is the answer. Very good. You guys got it right. These are the words you got. You got about 15 words yesterday. Reminiscent. Something reminds you of the past. Malaise. Some sort of illness. Something causes discomfort. Labyrinthine, maze, very complicated, difficult to navigate. Content has 2 meanings. One, struggle with. Another, to argue, to present your stand firmly or be assertive. Deter, prevent, or prevent someone from doing something. Cumbersome, very difficult to handle or deal with, cumbersome work. Milieu, milieu means what? The social, political, cultural environment a person is exposed to. Erratic means unpredictable. You can also think of the word mercurial. Teething troubles. Initial stage, the troubles you face, teething troubles. We got more words that try to work. That's all for today. I hope you guys have got enriched. Have a nice day. Thank you very much. అనిల్ గారు మీకోసమే నిన్న చూశానండి, ల్యాప్టాప్ తెచ్చాను, అక్కడ పెట్టాను స్టూడియోలో కదా, చూడండి చెక్ చేయండి, చెక్ చేసి రాజ్ కుమార్ వెళ్ళిపోయేదా? అవును సార్.